I am setting up for jelly printing. As you can see, this is another dispatch from the attic. It's Thursday at 11. This is when I do my jelly printing, and I'm working up here in an attempt to be a little more consistent with my lives, even though I might be out of town, in Seattle, doing my usual Seattle thing where I help my parents out. Today, I'm going to be working on making things that I could then maybe use for Valentine's. So I'm just pulling off some nice media paper. Now that I look at it. So let's see. I'm going to go to Craftiness and see if I am broadcasting yet, because I wonder. There I am. Let's expand it. Gonna wait a minute and see if anyone joins me. I'm gonna continue setting up, which for me means opening up my paints. Actually, I like those in the tray. I don't know when I dump those out. And it's a cool setup. All right, I'm gonna start in a second, because even if there's nobody here to watch me, these videos go up on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started. It is jelly printing day, so get this situated. And she says optimistically, get everything cranked, and there we go. I think that's right. That's what we want. Still getting used to how this sets up. Okay, so that's why. As you can see, this is a nice, clean, brand new jelly plate. It is not going to look like this for long. It just isn't. I am going to go ahead and just get started. Because it's brand new, there's a good chance that it's going to beat up my paint. A little bit of oil on the plate the first few times you use it. Takes a little while sometimes for that to even out. This is one of the bigger jelly plates. I sell these at the store. It's a 8x10, and I love the size. Actually, no, I think it's an 8x10. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, and yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. See the little beading up right there? It's not my favorite effect, so we're just gonna pull a couple of initial prints just to see if we can get this broken in a little bit. I'm going to get nice clean prints the first few times too, because there's no gunk, nothing gunking this up at all. It is just 100% jelly plate. I haven't contaminated it with my alcohol inks, or with any toner prints or weird paints that have oil in them. This is just all jelly plate. And this is Liquitex paint. I sell these at the shop. I'm using my travel versions, but I sell the big version. I sell both the travel sets and the big versions at the store. And they're my favorite go-to when it comes to jelly printing, because they're nice. They've got a nice, oh, you know what I haven't got on? There we go. Now you can see it. They've got a nice opacity to them, and very nice tint load for the price. Of course, the gold standard is Golden's, and these, the tint load is very intense, so you're going to get a nice longevity out of these paints, and also a nice coverage. I don't know if you can see the difference already between how transparent those layers I did before were versus. Now remember, you don't want to go back and forth with your brayer so much, because you just end up repeating the same pattern over and over again, right? It prints on here and you're just rolling it in the same place. So you want to pick it up and move it around. I'm pressing a little hard. I'm getting these lines, these brayer lines, which doesn't bother me, but if you're wondering what those are from, that's what they are. Hey, Lois. Thanks for joining me. So I'm just right now creating, I'm breaking in this new Geli plate, and I am creating some background pieces that I can use to make Valentines, because of course that's what we're doing these days, this week, all about the Valentines. Now that's interesting, that has, that's sticking. I'm going to brayer off my brayer. Look how much paint can be left on your brayer sometimes. So let's see, this is where I'm at with this. I'm just doing full plate prints because I was trying to break the Geli plate in. So let me think about what I want to do next. Where do I want to go with this? Because I have options. One thing I could do is to use a stencil. So the stencil is packaged in a mysterious way. How do I open it? This is why you want your scissors close at hand at all times. I have one tattoo. That one tattoo is a pair of scissors on my back, and it's there because I'm always looking for scissors. Always looking for scissors. And so metaphorically, I have them on my back where I can reach them to do whatever I want with. All right. So let's see what happens if I brayer over some of these things. Let's see, what color do I want to use? I like this turquoisey color. I'm just going to put a very little bit amount, very little amount, because I really just want these 3 hearts. Maybe that road as well. Why not? And then I'm just going to put these on here. I'm just going to start building in some layers and some imagery. See how fun that looks? Right there, right off the bat. Just a little bit of, and I'm going to do the thing that I like to do where I'm going to come in and mirror the same imagery in lots of different places, sort of like echoing it here and there on the page. And then this one, I'm going to make sure that I turn it over every once in a while and have some of the imagery going the other way. I'm going to do a different color this time, see what this does with this blue. Now I could have punched some heart shapes out of a paper and use that as my stencil. I could use, I could just cut a piece of paper, which, you know, I recommend, but to be honest, I'm actually not that good at the punching or the cutting of hearts, and so I like having stencils and die cuts that I can use, because for some reason I just not very good at it. That's the same. Let me see what I have. This is a Liquitex. It's the professional. I have a few of these. I have their muted colors in this, in their heavy body. So this is their professional heavy body. You know, kind of their top end product. I don't carry it because I carry the Goldens, which I really believe in as a product and a company. They're just, honestly, they're super cool people. Look, I got a little ombre out of that one. That's cool. Just plunking it down a little bit. Getting what I can out of the imagery. And so this is what I look for. I look for moments like this. You can see the interaction of the colors and the pattern, and that layering then starts to create some depth and visual interest. And that's what I'm going for. So I'm just going to keep going with that because I'm really enjoying what's happening. Yeah. Now let's see this direction. I do have quite a bit of paint on my brayer at this point, so I'm going to brayer that off. onto the sheet of paper that I'm using as my sidekick today. Oh, look, I got some of that paint from, it was because I turned it over. That's kind of cool. Try to catch all that with this pull. Ooh. Know your space. Neat. A little bit of a ghost print there. See what happens if I try to reestablish this neon that I started with. I'm curious to see what happens. Neons are almost always transparent, translucent, because it's just really hard to get that tint really prominent. All right, starting to get some of that patterning in there. Let me bring back in this turquoise that I used. What's happening is kind of interesting too, is that because the hearts are weighted, right? There's a bigger heart and a smaller heart, and the way I'm doing it, the bigger hearts are ending up in the center, which makes them, which gives sort of an interesting tone to the piece. So you can see, like, most of the bigger hearts are ending up here because of the way I've been pulling them. Let's see what happens if I do this. This is how I end up with paint on my hands. Okay. It ended up purpley because it mixed with the pink I had on my. Be a little careful. Okay, I'm gonna start using this rung here and see what happens. Let's see if I use this pink. I'm doing what I often do, which is to get stuck just with the colors in front of me. I need to pull some more colors out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think I want to use some more color. Cool. So this piece of paper is 11 by 14, which is a fun size. It's not one, it's, you know, bigger than my plate, obviously. And I have some more paint left, so I'm going to just reestablish that color. All right, now I'm going to see what I have. I'm going to do some gold, and this I have, I don't have this actual gold in my, at the store, but I have this brand, some of this brand. Folk Art, it's a common one. Let's see what happens if I pull a little bit. Let's see if I can do this without making a awful mess. Gold hearts. All of our gold hearts. Let's see. Again, metallics can be a little translucent. That's cool. So do you see what's happening? I'm wondering if you can get the perspective of all the different layers starting to work together. And, you know, if I choose to cut it up, I will end up with lots of different, you know, versions. They'll have a tone that's similar, but depending on how I cut them up, I could end up with some very different pieces from piece to piece. Ooh, look at that. That's spicy. I like it. I figured I'd end up with more, so let's see. So that ended up there. Oh, and your husband forgets that you do your live at 11. Oof, I'm liking that. That's fun. I like the gold a lot, actually. So let me think. I'm going to come back and maybe do some more with gold with this size. Let's see what we get. Y'all know I like gold paint. In the studio right now I've been using my Sizzix gold, which is a nice paint. This one's being pretty fun too. And I just love the Golden's gold. I don't know if I've talked about that before, but that is a cool gold. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. I've got a lot of hearts going on. I like it. You know, there's a point sometimes where you're like, stop now, but then there's a point that you want to be like, no, keep going. So guess what? I'm gonna keep going. A few more layers. Brayer off the gold. And let's see about maybe adding this image here. This is all one stencil, by the way. This is a folk art stencil. I don't sell this, well, I can't say don't because I have so many paints in the store that I might very well have this paint in the store somewhere. I'm gonna put these white ones on, or this white paint on with this little image. I mean, I have lots and lots and lots of heart stencils in the store if you're looking for one. I am enjoying the diversity of this one. So you can see what's going on here. A little bit. This one, I'm going to keep going with that concept and just keep adding more white hearts and see. So one thing when you repeat an image like this over and over and over again, you can have something that happens called a bokeh effect. It's actually I've talked about it before. It's a photography effect where the background blurs and like raindrops blur and lights flare in the background, and so you get this imagery, this sort of idea of depth. So that can be what happens when you work like this. Okay, so I'm enjoying the hearts, but I think it's gotten a little sweet for me. so I'm going to just do a quick little something to tone that down. And remember, jelly printing is a great way to play around with color and tone and find paints that you like. You know, this is really going to highlight how opaque or transparent a paint is. That was a fairly translucent yellow. But see, now I'm creating some shadow. Pull in some color in those white spots in the corner. And look how quickly that changed the color and the tone of my page. Just adding a little yellow. So you can definitely tone stuff down, which is fun. All right, I'm trying to think of like what else I might want to add to this. I might want to do, I had my brights out a second ago, where'd they go? All the people who should know that I am not available at 11 have been calling. This is a fun trick that I like to do where I just create a, you know, just a band to throw down some color on a page. Easy way to add some tone. All right, so I knocked down some of those bright white hearts I had going on there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to finish up by adding some more gold because I love it. I love the gold. Here's my sidekick, by the way. How fun is that? Okay, so gold. Where are you? Oop, that's too much. Scoop some of that back up. Advantage of having a pot. Ooh, still too much. That's going to be a goopy goop. Goopy gold. That's right. We'll pull it a couple of times that way. Nice. One. Yeah. That was the right thing to do. I like it. Okay. So, got this. And I can use this as a background. I can maybe keep it as a print the way it is. I'm kind of enjoying it as a all over print. Thanks, Lois. It doesn't take much to, you know, to change something from a background to a piece of art. You could come in with a big black pen and write a quote over the top of this. Thanks, Lois. I like, you know, if I came in, I might use this as a background to jelly print some stencil pieces on. Yeah, so it wouldn't take much, you know, to turn this into something like a statement piece. I could write in big black letters across the top, you know, something about love or Valentine's Day being awesome or stupid or, you know, people I've loved or lost or, you know, lots of places to take something like this. And, you know, I'm really into this. It just turned out kind of super cool. And I hope that it inspired you to maybe do some jelly printing for yourself. See, this is all so stiff. Okay, sorry about that. My beautiful attic room. I hope that inspired you guys to pull out your jelly plates and cut some hearts out of paper, and or pull out your heart stencils and to do something fun, even if you don't celebrate Valentine's Day or think it's kind of a kitsch thing to do. You know, maybe use the technique of creating multiple layers of the same stencil over and over again. It can be really satisfying and give your jelly prints a whole new dimension. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow here from the attic at 11. All right, bye everyone. Nope, that was wrong.